Welcome to Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber, y'all. A movie review podcast partnered with fighters, martial artists, those guys on YouTube videos who don't cheap shot the people they fighting, all band together for the good of all mankind. For first-time listeners and for regular listeners, this your boy Contavious, Master Shadow of the Magical Arts, filling in for Basil, our retired general for the Assassination Corps. We have 3 honorary shadows, Alex, Khan, and Nikonsi, who named their podcast the same as our organization. By mistake, of course. Now we let them chill here at the Secret Chamber and record their show.
Fantastic job, Contavious. It's been a trying week, what with our little mishap from last week, where our new maid Jason turned my hand into a chicken. Still super sorry about that, Basil. Not to worry, Jason. Making mistakes are sometimes an even better lesson than doing it right the first time. Well, I just don't know what went wrong.
Well, basically you used the Farsi word for good morning.
So let me get this straight. Saying good morning in Farsi will turn someone's hand into a chicken?
I don't know about all that, but Farsi is a magical language. Not sure if you heard the girl speaking it, but it was basically a misfire.
Got it. Well, what if I said good night in Farsi? Will it turn Basil's hand into a crow? Ooh, or a raven? Guys, I'm still here with a bad case of chicken hand for a week now. Do you realize how hard it is to write out morning duties with a chicken for a hand? Good point. I mean, her calligraphy was gorgeous. You sure you don't want to keep her, Basil? Okay, writing isn't the only thing I need my hand for, lads. I still have other purposes for this hand. More intimate purposes.
Yeah, you know what? We better get Basil back to normal, Jace. Now, this time, focus on the object that you want to change.
Okay. Sobahar. Jesus. Oh, that's better. Contavious, look. Jason separated the chicken from my wrist and fixed my hand all at once.
Yo, Jace, this is some legit high-level magic.
Stop it, you guys. I just couldn't bear the thought of living without Helena's penmanship. Oh, her name is Helena, BT Dubs. Well, I can't complain about that. I've actually grown quite fond of Helena over the past week. I think it worked out for everybody. And on that warm and fuzzy note all, enjoy the episode. Oh my god, we have to get Helena a Hidden Shadows robe. That would be the best.
We about to make her look fresh.
Can't say fine, that looks better than mine. Fine. Well, I want this.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Okay, deal.
That shit is garbage bananas.
This is gonna be really creepy, and then we're gonna have.
I'm just gonna play Hearthstone.
We're gonna have action figures of ourselves. It's weird.
It's gonna be great.
I walked by the booth, and I was like, "Who in their right mind would do that? That's weird." And then I was like, "Hey, you know, it'd be really funny if we made ourselves action figures."
That'd be great.
Yeah,
it's almost as bad, or it's almost as cool as having a right hand or a chicken for a right hand.
I never said,
like in Basil's case.
I never said I was in my right mind. I'm gonna just get a bunch of these figures made and give it to people for Christmas.
Do you want to see if Jason will like make it happen for us? He's like working with his magic. He might be able to put our heads on figurines.
Yeah,
I think, or he might turn us into chickens.
I think it'd be more fun to be turned into chickens.
That, you know, the life of a chicken, but like a domesticated chicken, not like a
okay.
I don't know.
But see, the thing is that you're still saying chicken, but we're still all male, so we would then be roosters, and then I would have a really good cock game.
Wait, but what does that mean about Basil's right hand?
But wait,
is it a female?
What if I really want to be a chicken?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I might just want to be a chicken.
I'm not, you know, saying that you can't be a transgender rooster, but like,
I mean,
can be a chicken.
He might as well just go.
That's what I'm saying.
Might as well go full chicken.
Yeah.
I'm
right?
just gonna be a chicken.
Yeah. All right, Jason will make it happen. Then Contavious can just turn it back. He's good at that shit. Welcome to Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber, everybody. A movie review podcast, just like Basil had mentioned earlier. And actually, Contavious said it earlier. But
Really?
You were there.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's weird. He did the whole... Anyway. My name is Alex. And...
Buenos noches.
Buenos noches. That right there, gentleman speaking Spanish, is Nikonti, and he's going to be speaking Spanish all episode long.
Sí, señor.
He's going to be speaking Spanish in English. Think about that while our next host introduces himself.
CS. Da siesta. Let me introduce him. To the left, or to your right, or through your interwebs of the mind. This is Khan Jong-il. I mean,
That'd be a dope rap name, though.
That would be so
That'd
cool.
be a fucking dope rap
Oh my
name.
god. Today we went to go watch Rambo Last Blood. It's the last one, guys. Okay, we promise they're not going to redo this in 2030 when everybody's out of movie ideas and Sylvester Stallone is 83 years old. Okay?
Although they could. With the way technology is going right now, they could.
God damn it, they will. He's going to be like a fucking rest because we're going to figure out like bionic, joints replacements and fucking CGI.
And then on
do
top
we already have
of
that done?
On top of that,
Uh-huh.
right, there's a series of games from Capcom called Bionic Commando,
Yes.
and they'll just call it Bionic Rambo.
Oh, shit.
And Capcom will fund it.
I want it.
I do too.
Bionic Rambo Commando.
Capcom,
God damn, it's going to be so good.
Capcom, hear me out.
Can you believe he's 73? I can't believe it still.
He was half his age in the first movie.
Rambo.
He was 36 years old, y'all.
That's crazy.
And looks like
Crazy.
a fucking phenom beast, like in better shape than I probably will ever be, and it's a little depressing. But good for you. Good
But
for
also,
you.
that's different shape. It's a
Living
different shape entirely.
living your best self. What were your guys' impressions on this movie?
I went into the film thinking, I'm just going to watch an action film. I'm not going to expect much. Hopefully there's some good action and I have an entertaining time. And luckily, I was with a very good audience that
Oh, really?
was cheering, which was like fantastic. It's crazy. When you go to the movie theaters, for that period of time, you and everyone in that room is experiencing everything at the same time.
Sure.
Sounds, the music,
Emotions.
and nobody is thinking about what's going on outside of that room.
It's pretty magical.
It is. So when you get an audience that is on the same page as you, or just like amped up,
Yeah.
it really makes the cinematic experience exhilarating.
Yeah, it's fun when you got like-minded people and you feel everybody else as into this as you are.
And we were freaking like laughing at the same parts, like that's just ridiculous. That's stupid. Like what is going on? And then we'd be like, wow, did that just happen? That was disgustingly amazing.
Unfortunately, Nikonsi saw it at a different time than Alex and I, and Alex and I were in a very small theater, and I was kind of the most obnoxious person there, I think.
I was right there with you, buddy. I feel like we
Yeah.
we gave the energy for, that should have been in that room for the entire audience.
There was like one or two people who were like also kind of relaxing after we broke the ice.
Yeah.
But it's like you're saying, where like if you go to like experience something like this and you're all experiencing this together in a different way, kind of, and you just straight up have people who aren't on the same level as you can ruin their experience, unfortunately. And I don't think, luckily, that we did.
No, we were pretty quiet about it.
But, like, I feel like every single time I got giddy, I kept, like, shoving your arm, and the people behind me were like, what the fuck is this? Because I would rock my chair back and forth. I'm like, yeah.
It was great. I did enjoy the movie. I thought the the plot was really good. I am gonna address one thing, being of Mexican descent. I was hugely offended by Giselle's, like, the person who designed the outfit. Like, didn't the costume designer like ask, like, okay, so this movie's set in the early 90s, right? Like, nah. Why are we dressing her like she's in the early 90s? Like a chola from the early... She had, like, the bright blue... I don't know.
Nail polish?
No.
Eyebrows?
It was as basic as you could get. Like,
yeah, she had the painted on eyebrows and the bright blue eyeshadow. Someone fell. Jaime, you okay? Okay, he's working on his booby traps. Okay, she had the flannels, top button with the chain. I don't know why.
unnecessary.
But when the narcos came in, the human traffickers came in, they were dressed like actual narcos, and I was like, okay, all right, we got some accuracy. Spanish was great.
Was it? The subtitles?
I kept asking Alex, like, does their Spanish feel pretty conversational? And, like, do the subtitles translate all right?
They weren't speaking English in Spanish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can tell that they're like somebody who speaks Spanish wrote that script.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other than that, I feel like June did a great job of putting me in that mindset of, like,
What to watch, what to expect.
okay, Alex, you're not going in there for like a deep, soul-changing experience. You're just going in for an action movie.
And it's going to be a fucking badass one.
And get your head straight.
Just, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Question. Did it feel like it took a long time for the action to start?
No, not to me. What about you, June?
How long was the movie?
It was only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I
Which
was
is
gonna
not
say,
a long movie. It's actually
Yeah.
a good pace for an action movie.
For a
Right.
90, I was going to say, like, I'm pretty sure this was not a 2-hour movie. And so the pacing was perfect to me.
But every single
Like,
time,
I really liked that amp up into the straight up brutality that they showed us.
every single time I thought Rambo was gonna fight, I was like, "Damn it, he didn't even fight."
Yeah, he for sure miscalculated his first infiltration into the narcos little den.
Which,
So-
by the way, is very strange for a Vietnam veteran, because in the Vietnam War, it was all about guerrilla warfare. So he like fought opposite of that at the beginning, which makes no sense, and then he fought correctly at the end.
maybe it was an attempt to show
His age.
that and the effect that having a family and being emotionally charged the way he was.
I think it would have been funny if he like walks around and then he was like, "Oh, I forgot where I am."
That's what I was hoping was going to happen. But no, I guess they really wanted to help emotionally charge the audience with the story of Gabriella. So
I think another part of this is really, really specific and technical and kind of
full
reaching.
stop. Full stop. Gabriella. You may continue.
He was ashamed of himself for saying it incorrectly a second ago.
There it was.
Gabriella. Garbage.
Fucking
Bananas.
That shit was garbage bananas.
What I was going to say is that it's kind of reaching, but in theory, right?
Mhm.
Assuming that, and I'm totally, technically speaking, pulling this out of my ass, but But like assuming that Rambo was like
really
20
weird to watch. I want
Yeah,
the
it's
listeners
like,
to watch.
What is that? It's like when a clown is like pulling a handkerchief
and it just keeps going.
out of his like pocket and it just doesn't stop. I'm like, what? I know your intestines are long, but what is going on?
To really just
this
more
is
than a mile long.
picture that on your drive to work, listeners. Go on.
I want them to picture that because then they're thinking of me. Ego boost.
No.
Anyway, the point is that so assuming that Rambo was early 20s when he goes to Vietnam originally,
Right.
That does make some sense because at this point he's like 50, like late 50s, early 60s,
Right.
and Sylvester Stallone himself is in his fucking 73.
73.
So like theoretically, he did spend a lot of time going soft and raising a family and stuff. But at the same time, from like 80 to 90% of the people who I have had the pleasure of talking to who have been through some sort of training of that sort, your like body tells you when something is weird is going on like that. You don't even have to actually be martially trained to like have your sense of
like awareness.
your awareness for being put into a dangerous position, right? Like that. So then it's very strange, like Nakansi said, for this Vietnam War veteran who absolutely murdered essentially 15 different armies in Vietnam, like to go in the middle of essentially an urban environment surrounded by
The enemy.
and then not do anything.
Yeah, definitely a plot hole, but a plot driver at the same time. That kind of sucks when a plot hole is a plot driver. But what can you do?
But they totally were like, that hole, don't just fill it, dig it deeper. And they fucking went in on it.
We in some Alice in Wonderland shit. You guys want to get in some badass moments?
The whole movie.
Okay. That's June's.
Yeah, I have one major badass moment.
Okay.
I was like, I see all these explosives that he's planting, and I know this movie somehow has a crazy, ridiculous budget as well.
Right.
I was like, how are they going to use this budget?
And the entire tunnel.
Everything just explodes.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That shot alone was insane. Just
Are you
showing
talking about the tunnels? Yes.
Yeah, at the
Or are
very
you talking?
end.
Oh, at the very end. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, the film looked really good. It was shot well.
Very crisp and beautiful scenery.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is biggest budget ever for a Rambo movie.
You know what's insane is to know that one of the filmmaker's tricks can technically apply to a lot of the tunnel scenes in a weird way, and that is that this kind of like film trick. I forget exactly where I remember watching a video about this, but take for example spy movies and people crawling around in air vents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, reality is that you're not gonna fucking crawl into an air vent like that. That's already movie magic. Okay, but the other part of this movie magic is that they literally just use the same pipe.
I get.
You know, like they kept changing. They just changed the angle and changed the way you're crawling through the pipe, and it looks different. They could have technically done a lot of that in this movie with the way the tunnels worked, but it was still insane the whole time.
It's kind of like the stairs in the sitcom, like in the house, like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Stairs don't go any fucking where, but
They just
off-screen.
literally climb up some staircase and then like wait there.
Wait till the next scene.
So so people get an idea, okay, the very first Rambo film that came out in 1982 had a $15 million budget.
Done, dude.
The second one had a $25.5 million budget. In 1988, Rambo 3, which is this is crazy, $58 to $63 million budget.
Whoa.
Then 2008, Rambo came back with a $50 million budget. And then this one also had a $50 million budget.
Whoa, less than Rambo 3.
Yeah.
We got to go watch Rambo 3, y'all.
I think it's probably crazy.
Yeah. Is it the one where he's in the jungle and he's like fighting vipers?
I just
and
want
shit?
you to pause for a second and realize that that's 3 out of 5 Rambo films
That's crazy.
that you just said the plot for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo.
the one where he's in the jungle.
The one
Yeah.
where he's in the jungle fighting cobras. Okay. Did he fight cobras in the first one?
He probably didn't. They were probably anacondas.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
I want the audience to know that I haven't watched any of the Rambos, and I still enjoyed the shit out of this movie. And it makes me want to go back and watch the original ones.
Just
I
for
also-
nostalgia.
For
I mean,
sure.
it's friggin' Sylvester Stallone, an action star,
Yeah.
the Italian stallion.
Mm-hmm.
I also want the audience to know that Alex really, really had to turn off his brain because he was sober for this one.
I was.
I had to preface him with like, Alex, we're going in to see Rambo. Just appreciate the action.
Shut it off.
Just the plot's gonna be simple, but it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be just enough for you to appreciate how crazy the action is. That's it. It's not gonna be a deep plot. It's not gonna be deep.
Can we get into the action?
Let me jump into some of that. Actually, you know what's funny? My badass moments have nothing to do with the action.
That's funny.
So I am gonna just describe the two of them very quickly. I like the intensity of Rambo's first moment when he went to go question Gabriela's dad.
I really did enjoy that as well.
That's when you can see like, okay, this motherfucker is still like powerful.
And I was pissed at that dad. He was an asshole.
What a dick.
Yeah. I
Ugh.
felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
I wanted her to have a happy ending.
I really wanted Gabriela to have a good ending.
But also Rambo needed a reason to be Rambo again.
He did, which leads me into my next moment was
Rambo needed reason to go Rambo.
Sylvester Stallone's acting. This is another badass moment when he was talking to the journalist after a certain person's death, and just basically like his revenge speech that sent chills down my spine. I was like, yes, because you're upset with Rambo over what had happened, and I don't know, man, like Sylvester Stallone still got it, dude.
I
still
don't
got
care
some good
what
acting,
people
yeah.
say. Sylvester Stallone can act.
Yes, he can.
And through an accent.
This was an accent?
No, he didn't make that accent. It's his own accent.
Oh, okay.
But typically when you have an accent, it's hard to act
Oh,
in
okay.
English. Like Jackie Chan.
True that.
Like when you watch a Jackie Chan movie in his English roles, it's hard for him to portray the same emotion that he does in his Chinese
oh
films.
my god, he's like
Because he is a good actor.
He is.
He's a fantastic actor. But, translation.
Yep.
And then he dubs himself. That's hard work.
That's really hard to
That's
dub
so-
yourself.
That's so crazy.
That's a skill of a mastermind.
Sidebar real quick.
Yes.
I actually think that Adam Sandler has pretty good actual acting skills for the roles that he has that aren't just immediate comedy films.
Well, like Punch Drunk Love is a fantastic Adam Sandler film.
Right.
Have you seen it, Alex?
I haven't.
There's another one that doesn't necessarily require him to like act a lot necessarily to be the role that he's in, but it's called Reign Over Me, and it is absolutely one of my
Ooh, with Don Cheadle.
yeah, it's high top tier, one of my favorite movies. Also because they use the aspect of of playing a game as a driving force for the story of the plot.
See, the bad part about Adam Sandler is that he makes a lot of his movies just to go on vacation.
Just to be with his friends.
So they're really just bad movies.
That's weird.
100%.
But every once in a while he'll have a good movie. But most of his movies he just makes just to go on vacation. He's like, where have we not been yet? Okay, I don't know. Somebody write something real quick.
Somebody
write something on the plane ride, and then we'll just make it.
It's just on the fucking like plane ride like menu.
Yeah.
The
He's
other,
like, I got it.
One of the really respectable things though about Adam Sandler is his loyalty to his friends. Like, do you see like all of his friends in all of his movies? He just has tons of movies, and he's like, yeah, these are my friends.
Either that, or he's just that one friend who can't say no to anybody.
He's like, bring him along. Adam Sandler's just a good dude.
Rob Schneider's got him wrapped around his finger. He's like, so I'm gonna be in this one, right? Right?
He's like,
Hey,
fine,
whoa.
Rob,
I don't really
another
have-
one.
To be
Let's just get
fair,
you
though.
a Netflix TV show, Rob.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
another
he's
thing,
like,
though,
what?
is that without Rob Schneider, we would not have easily one of the top films in all of the Hidden Shadows, Secret Chambers film catalogs.
That's a good ass point.
Surf Ninja.
Surf Ninjas, which we need to watch soon.
That is true.
Is that going to be our New Year's Eve
I
movie?
keep forgetting about Surf Ninjas.
Can it be? Oh my god.
Can it just be our movie every week?
Oh, it's so good.
Let's put our pod in a time loop.
That was a fun sidebar. I think Consi wanted to get into the
Yeah, technically you can cut that entire part out as bonus content.
No, leave it.
But
It was fantastic.
also just leave it in because our pod is just us gushing about all the things we love.
Gosh. Tell us about the action that you wanted to get into.
The very end, when you see him slowly but surely and steadily, like a little engine that could, but a rather large engine because Sylvester Stallone is a thick man. You just watch him put his little traps together, and he just keeps putting in your. And then as you're watching him, you're like, I don't know what he's gonna do with that, but I know it's gonna be painful. And he shows every single trap. He shows them setting up every single one.
Yeah. Well, again, I was telling June that this fucking trap that he's setting is just like Home Alone, but just more murdery.
Rambo is
So-
Macaulay Culkin
He's Macaulay Culkin,
at his finest.
and then the narcos were the wet bandits.
You know,
They were
Rambo was probably, chilling with his horses on the farm,
Yeah.
watching Home Alone, and he was like,
I know exactly what a Oh, he
while he's
didn't do-
rocking.
He didn't do the slap his face in the scream. Ah, that would have been so good.
Aw.
One thing that I wanted to bring up is that a lot of those traps are actually plausible. They're pretty reasonably plausible.
I think
Yeah.
all of them were plausible.
For
I
sure.
think we
Yeah.
could make it work. Like in a Halloween
old-
haunted trail, we should make a haunted house. And then use these traps that we learned from Rambo. And then
He's talking about
like
he's talking
release
about a
like
Hidden Shadows.
have people pay for tickets to go inside these trap rooms.
That's something we could totally ask Jaime to help us out with.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good time.
Jaime, what did you think about the traps? Reminds me of my first booby trap that I set up. I was like 16. And it was pretty good. I'm gonna give him some style points for that one. Yeah, I don't understand why the guys were just. Usually, when I have my victims or the people that I'm assassinating going in, the victims try to run out, and I have traps set up for their escape route. But these guys were just going deeper and deeper. I don't know. I give them points. For
brave,
right?
very brave,
Those
or ignorant.
Whatever. They had huevos. They had some huevos. Enjoy the
Good
rest.
job, Jaime.
Oh, thank you, guys.
All right, here's a new
Good.
clipboard. I got this for you for a present, and just,
This is beautiful.
yeah, it's mahogany.
Oh my god, it smells wonderful.
It's got a good heft to it, huh? Yeah,
It does. No, it's got like a good weight.
yeah.
You need good weight in the clipboard. You want to feel it. You know what I mean? You don't want
It
to.
also, it empowers you because you're like when you do the good clipboard slap, you're like,
Ooh.
it's got that thunk to it. You're like,
Oh my god, I'm gonna go break this in right now. Okay.
And Jaime is our favorite intern forever.
That's our booby trap specialist right there, dude.
I mean, he's now a full-fledged shadow, isn't he?
Yeah, he just did the test, and he did great.
Yeah. Except at the same time, he will forever be our intern.
He will.
I mean, like, you don't get to be one of the hidden shadows who gets to talk about hidden shadows publicly, privately.
It's a secret society,
Yeah.
but not so secret.
You don't get to be this high up without earning your stripes.
That's exactly right.
like a tiger.
like a tiger. Let's talk about the number rating. What do you guys want to give it?
I give it a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. It was fun.
Only a 6.
Well, it was not above average, and an average movie is a 7.
Yeah.
A great movie is an 8.
Right.
An amazing movie is a 9, and a masterpiece is a 10.
And it doesn't exist.
But it was a fun movie.
I enjoyed the movie too. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 as well.
What, Junior?
No, go ahead.
I enjoyed it. Turned off my brain, but they saved the wrong villain for last. It should have been Victor Martinez, 100%.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen him die slowly.
I was more convinced that Victor was the alpha in that brotherly relationship.
Really? How are you? The only reason I'm saying that is because supposedly Victor is the older brother, yes. But to be the alpha psychologically in that relationship, what they showed us on screen, Victor takes orders from Hugo.
He did, but then there was that moment is like, next time, motherfucker, when I say, to do something, you better fucking do it.
Right. But that doesn't necessarily make him an alpha so much as confrontational.
I just felt like speaking of confrontations, I feel like the confrontation between Rambo and Victor would have been more heated.
If there was a given moment to show it on screen, probably. I think that would have been way cooler.
Because, you didn't really have much against Martinez number 2. I forgot his name.
Hugo.
I
don't know no Hugo Martinez either.
Hugo. I don't know. And then, again, it just, when it ended, you were just like, oh. Was it? Okay. Got it. But it was fun. Jun, tell us your argument.
Did you guys actually think I was going to give it higher than a 6, by the way?
I didn't know what to expect, actually.
I'm sitting here with bated breath.
I'm going to give it a really high 6.
Oh, damn high ratings.
God damn it. We walked over a bridge and there was a troll under it.
It wasn't just any troll. It looks like a human.
And he makes you guess riddles.
If it looks like a human, it sounds like a human, and it breathes like a human, it must be a human.
Troll.
The reason being that this was, in a lot of ways, the conclusion of Rambo. Right?
Yeah, big time.
I think that the weight of the film franchise leading into this, and this being the send-off, was actually really, really cool. That doesn't mean that it gets to, escape from the plot holes that we've already riddled it with. But at the same time, it was highly entertaining. It was freaking brutal. It was amazing. And the Hollywood magic was plausible a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The one in particular trap that I was questioning, actually there's 2 of them. One of them was the bullet pin mine, where he had a steel block with pins in the bottom, and he drilled it out, and he put the bullets inside those holes.
Right.
And he stepped on it and just blasted upwards.
Yeah.
The amount of, it's plausible still, but at the same time, it was just kind of you putting that much pressure to push in the firing cap might not actually be enough, and that has to be that has to be a lot of weight to immediately put into a step and then blast your foot off.
Yeah.
But it's still plausible. I'm not a freaking scientist, Another one was the magnesium in the shotgun shells.
That was amazing.
That was fucking badass, and at the same time I was like, that doesn't seem like it makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put shreds of magnesium inside my bullet, and I'm gonna recap some shotgun shells, and
again, I'm gonna give him points for style. Just
that was badass,
right? Just because, how much you're like taking like your average like action shooting scene, and you're just adding a little extra. You're magnesium baying it. So
another thing that I wanted to bring up, and it is very important for our listeners to understand, that I did keep a bullet count, but nobody was alive long enough for it to matter.
Yeah. No, I remember you mentioning that. What I was gonna mention something.
The only person who lived long enough was Hugo.
Yeah.
And even then, it's plausible that he reloaded.
Oh, I did want to jump on a badass moment, or not a badass, but a what the fuck moment, was when he broke into the sex scene, or the sex like motel or whatever the fuck.
It's called a whorehouse.
The whorehouse, the brothel, and he just started just all I need me is a hammer, and just took down everybody in that building with the goddamn hammer.
It was fucking insane. Literally, this whole movie, prior to him getting his face fucking cut,
yeah,
was so slow but good pacing at the same time.
Yeah,
which is kind of what Kansi had said earlier. Was like it took forever for you to finally get to some fighting.
Sure,
but I was just like happy with that pacing the entire time, because it made it, as soon as something happened, it would feel more violent. And in this case, it already made it insanely violent with
the collarbone.
Straight up, like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the first time something happens, it was going to be violent, the way that they were pacing the film. But then they gave us like Is this R-rated? Is this R-rated?
Right.
Like
just reaching into someone's neck and snapping their collarbone. It was crazy.
That was one of my favorite parts. That was cool.
Yeah, right? It was cool. I enjoyed the
overall,
movie.
highly exciting film.
Yeah.
Tons of fun.
See, I knew you guys would have fun.
If you want to see an action movie.
Called it.
You didn't have to tell me. I already knew.
And he does it again.
What? Ah, damn it, troll. Get out of here. Yeah, god damn it. You fucking, you know what? Like, I like, this is one of the reasons why I'm happy we're doing the podcast, because there are these moments where, one, I'm going to watch movies that I would not normally watch, and then two, I'm enjoying them differently, instead of just trying to walk in with like a negative mindset and like, this is gonna suck. I'm just going in and just like,
yeah. 3 years ago, we've been doing the podcast for 2 years now, right?
About 2 years now.
Almost 2 years. And we've been talking about the Cut podcast for like almost 3 years, right?
We're so
Something
positive.
Like
we're always
the point
like,
that I bring it up is
what
that,
can I like about this movie?
we're like,
I'm gonna like the shit out of you.
Cause like, all right, y'all listeners, here's what eventually happens when you like review movies for a living or whatever the fuck, right? Or for an Instagram page. You just get jaded, like, period. And I think what the goal of this podcast is to do the opposite of that and find positivity in those movies.
But to also get paid eventually.
And also get paid so that we don't have to do our normal jobs. Guys, thanks so much for listening. Please continue to send your friends here if you guys think they're gonna like this podcast, which they will. Follow us at HSTSC 33. Interact with us, talk to us, tell us what you'd like to see more of.
Check me out on my Instagram page for music recommendations. I'm constantly finding new music and just adding it to my story.
Amazing taste, guys. He turns me on to a lot of the music that I listen to, and he is good. Follow us on Facebook, Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber. Support our other podcasts, Sidetrack Podcast, or if you're a Spanish speaker, Desviado. And go follow Junior at twitch.tv/Cookie Ninja Carve,
where I'm going to be doing God knows what for how knows how long anyways. Who
knows?
I got a sneeze coming on.
Who knows?
You're gonna have to edit it out.
Just let it, no. Oh, Jesus, it's everywhere. Oh, my shoes. My shoes.
No, that was a ghost, and that's a spooky ectoplasm.
Whoa, gee, gross.
Yeah, he just got his ectoplasm all over his shoes.
He really likes Vans.
This has been a really, really long sign out. I can talk all day.
Good night.
Or like all day. I'm gonna keep talking. And then
Jaime,
and it's just gonna
hit the
be
space bar, please.
all day. No, Jaime.